The cup was clearly filled with dirt, but the prisoner had to pretend to be drinking coffee. Not only that, he also had to discreetly dump the soil debris into the trash can when the guards weren't looking. To escape this prison, they had to try every possible means. They quietly dug a hole in the corner of the first floor. Then they bagged the excavated soil and secretly transported it upstairs. Next, they hid the soil in the floor gaps through a hole they had made in the ceiling. But this method was highly inefficient and easily noticeable by the guards. So they switched to a new approach, creating an opening directly in the first floor ceiling. This allowed them to move the soil up more directly through the two openings. However, just as the plan was progressing smoothly, the prison suddenly launched a large-scale search. A large number of guards flooded into the cell block and immediately conducted a thorough and rushed inspection. Seeing this, the man hurried to notify his companions who were working in the tunnel. The companions desperately climbed toward the hole, and the two men moving soil on the ceiling quickly withdrew. They had just resealed the hole with a poster and tidied up the beds when the guards' footsteps were already right outside the door. Even though they hurriedly cleaned up the scene, due to the sudden turn of events, not everyone hiding in the tunnel had gotten out. With their secret on the verge of exposure, Charlie stepped forward, leading everyone to block the hallway and create chaos to buy time. Seeing the situation turning bad, the guards immediately called for backup, and a conflict broke out between the two sides. The situation descended into chaos for a while. Seizing the opportunity, the people in the tunnel quickly crawled out. Two men swiftly sealed the hole with a fake wall and carefully painted over the gaps with homemade paint to ensure no traces were left. Even though the troublemakers were punished by kneeling for 5 hours in the sweltering 38°C heat, the hope of escape was preserved. To facilitate digging, the man, who was an engineer, ran electrical wires into the tunnel, solving the lighting issue and significantly improving work efficiency. After that, they started working 12 hours a day, divided into 6 shifts, with each person working only 2 hours. This ensured that the tunnel was under construction 24 hours a day without interruption. At this pace, they could dig about 120 kilograms of soil per day. To avoid raising suspicion, they had to thoroughly wash off all soil from their bodies every time they exited the tunnel, not missing even under their fingernails. At the same time, to hide their exhaustion, they maintained their usual daily exercise routine. Some jumped rope, others practiced boxing, and they also participated in normal social activities as usual. Only by frequently appearing in everyone's sight could they avoid arousing suspicion. But as the tunnel extended further, the oxygen deep inside gradually thinned. One inmate suddenly passed out while digging, but fortunately, his companions quickly noticed and dragged him out. However, the tunnel was too deep, making rescue efforts often difficult to arrive quickly. The man soon came up with a solution. He had Charlie find a motor. This motor was only available from the old prisoner in charge of the woodworking shop, but the old prisoner was unwilling to lend it. Charlie had to reveal their plan to him and promised to take him along during the escape, which finally secured this crucial tool. Later, during a visit, the man received a roll of plastic tubing quietly delivered by his family. Then they attached blades to the motor, placed it in a water bucket, and used the plastic tubing to pump oxygen smoothly into the tunnel. After over 400 days of hard work, the escape tunnel was almost dug through. But unexpectedly, a loud roar came from the ground, and an earthquake struck without warning.